Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise and welcome back to From the Depths, building a complete ship, start to finish. And I gotta say, this has gotta be one of the most ship-like ships I've ever built. It actually kinda looks like a ship, really. Shock horror, I know. And we are so close to done, it's not even funny. The only funny bit is how long it's taken. My bad. And honestly, a ship is never truly finished in From the Depths. There's always something else you could do. So honestly, ever thinking this thing is finished is an exercise in hubris, I guess. But today we're doing something that I've been looking forward to for a long time for this. Propulsion. There are many ways of getting a ship moving, and we're not going to be using all of them. But we're just going to be using what I like to do these days, which is fun, I guess. First things first, let's explore our options here. So this is a ship, so the air category of getting stuff moving and also the land category we're not really going to be touching on, except for this. I love custom propellers. I, in fact, might love them a little bit too much. So yeah, like, I do want to see if, like, we can use these. These are very handy because they work both in air and water, so the reason I like sticking them on ships is because when your craft beaches itself, which is almost inevitable if you're playing the campaign, because, well, From the Depths... spoiler alert, the From the Depths naval AI is really stupid and is really bad at avoiding terrain and also other ships, so having something that can move your ship around when it's out of the water is actually really convenient. But over in the water section, we've got our small propellers and we've got our big propellers. We're definitely going to be using the big propellers because, well, they're big, they make the ship go zoom zoom. But also, it's worth mentioning that there's steam props as well as steam jets over here. I don't like using these because to use them properly, you need to set up a whole steam engine for that. And as you've probably noticed by now, I'm not great with steam engines, and you need to build these things like ahead of time. We technically have room in here for steam props, so we could use them, but it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass because we'll also have to armor them and do all that jazz, so I don't feel like doing that. And I gotta admit, I'm not 100% on how to build a really effective, like, proper steam prop, and I don't want to mislead people by doing a botched job of it. So we're not going to be using the true steam thing. We might, however, use the crank motors, which basically means you can skip the whole steam engine and make a very compact, if more resource and power inefficient, steam propeller. So we're going to start with that. First thing you want to do when looking at your ship is you want to see where the drag is. So this ship is quite low. It's almost entirely submerged, really. My bad. So the center of drag is around here. With ships, it is better to have the thrust, so all the props, slightly below the center of drag, because that way the nose will pitch up out of the water. So that actually sometimes helps it go faster, and it also means it doesn't, well, sink itself immediately. If you put the props too high, the thing is likely to pitch forward and, like, nosedive into the water, and that's not very good, so we don't want that. So first things first, we are going to turn off block connections, and we don't have a hell of a lot of power to play with. We've got like 10,000, so how much power does this need? It doesn't actually say on here, which is a little bit annoying. Also, bear in mind that propellers, let's see here. So these crank motors are vulnerable to EMP by about 20%, and so are these props here. They actually take EMP damage. They're susceptible to it. The propellers, the custom propellers, are not susceptible to EMP, so that's another reason that I like to use them, is that massive EMP jolts can actually, like, take your, fry your propellers, which is a little bit surprising if you're not expecting it. But yeah, let's go here. Let's go with a medium prop, like so. And let's go here. And 1, 2, 3. Let's see. And now, what we can do is we can attach some shafts here. I think this is how it's connected. just going to stick it right here, and let's see here if that's what we want. Is this all connected? Yes, it is. And that uses a fair amount of power. Does this have clearance, though, is the question. We could actually be, like, you know, these things are reasonably tough. We can stick them actually out on the outside of our little situation here. I don't necessarily recommend that. So let's just do this, just so we don't actually see this. And I'm going to just move this over here. And that, and also this, so it's less visible from the outside. And of course we can always tidy that up later. And over here, do the same thing. Just politely hide our little medium crank over here. And then we are just going to, actually, I'm going to do this vertically because I'm clever like that. What the hell? Okay. Alright, so there we go. And now, since we're sitting in the cockpit, how much power does that use? And how fast do we go? So another problem with steam props like this is that they take a little while to spin up, which is why I generally don't like using them. This is not fast enough. I don't like this. Because when I want this thing to go, I want it to freaking go. So, yeah, we'll keep these. We'll keep these, but we're not gonna... That's not the only props we're gonna have here. So, let's go... Also going to have... This is gonna be pretty ugly, so I hope no one minds that. What do we have here? We're gonna also have some of these guys. There, and that has full clearance. Lovely. And is this gonna mess with the clearance? Yes, it is. And so that's another reason these guys are annoying, is because they are quite fussy about clearance. So these regular props, only this square here needs to be clear for them to have full clearance. So if I do this, for instance, you'll see that its clearance is absolutely fine. If I do this, its clearance is blocked. These things, that blocks it, but also that blocks it. So yeah, these guys are fussy. And that's so, presumably, so you actually stick these on the inside of your craft where they belong. Let's do, what should we do? What do you do with the drunken sailor? I'm going to use poles here. You don't have to. I just like doing it. There we go. Yes. Oh, this is delightfully messy. Okay, let's... What else can we do? We can also do cunning things with ACBs and breadboard, etc., etc. We're not going to be doing that today. We're keeping things nice and simple. Alright, so if I do this now, you'll notice we're accelerating a little bit better. You know what? I think I might put a few more of these on here, because we're using about 6,000 engine power. Alright, so now we've got that done, and we're going to... What are we going to do? I am going to be very cunning and use the full potential of these air props. So, what we're gonna do, this is quite cheeky what I'm about to do now. It's gonna be cheeky sneaky. I am going to stick an air prop here, and technically this is going to... No, it isn't. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Hold on. One block taller, please. Because From the Depths is a funky physics simulator, which means that you can do some crazy things. So we're gonna stick this here. That's gonna cover that, so no. I take it all back. I take it all back. Why did I do it wrong the first few times? We're gonna have to stick it here. There we go. Right, here we go. Let's see here. So if I do this, 1, 2, 3. Yes, and 1, 2, 3, and I want to put mirror mode on. And here. So these guys are also quite fussy with their clearance. You'll notice it's got X's there. It needs... I think it's actually impossible to get, like... Actually, hold on. I think it is possible to get, like, 100% clearance forward and back. Let's just demonstrate that right here. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, so the way you get 100% clearance with a prop is, like, you basically attach it with the blades like this. So you can essentially, like... If I do this, for instance, you can see this thing is spinning at 100% clearance. In practice, that's... never gonna happen, because it's almost always gonna be on either the front or the back or something. Alright, so here we're gonna do this, and you can also, let's turn that off, you can also customize these. I'm gonna set that to metal, and I'm gonna leave it as is otherwise, and so now we do this. So the thrust is about 9,800, let's see here. The medium propellers have more thrust, and this thing somehow has full clearance. So, in a straight line, I want this thing to go at least 20 meters per second. So, oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Alright, so now, what we're gonna do... 1, 2, 3, we're gonna add 2 more of these guys. Either side. I don't have mirror mode on. You know what would be a good idea is if I had mirror mode on. And we can always, like, if we don't have enough power to run all these props, what we can do is... Oh, hello. Here's a compartment that I'm about to ruin. Medium crank motor goes there. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yay, there we go. And same over here. I'm just going to do this. You don't have to do it this way. By the way, as usual, anything I do, you don't strictly have to. From the Depths does not have many hard and fast rules, as I'm so fond of saying. It just has recommended guidelines. So if I do this, it's going to take a country year to do that. Like, yeah, unfortunately, like, if you really want to be aesthetic and only have 1 or 2 propellers, what you can do is you can have, these big steam props, where are they? These big ones, so 5 to 7 meters on the outside, but you can also hide these things inside. So, if I get rid of this for a moment, and this is now a wet space, this, has full clearance. You only need about 8 meters of clearance, for these props to work. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you'll see that is about 75%, but let's see, 87%. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 meters of clearance is all you need for these water props, which is very nice, actually. Looks like we've... Alright, so now, just so... By the way, there is going to be a test where we beach this thing to see if we can un-beach it. We need to see if this thing is a beach. Okay, let's go there. Let's figure out exactly where this is going to go. It's going to go right here, and that should have enough clearance. Yes. Yes, yes it does. Neat. And what's here? And that's a huge propeller circular, which is annoying. So what we're going to do instead is something I'm quite fond of doing, which is something like this, and something like this, and this is mostly just to ensure that this thing looks somewhat decent. It kind of doesn't, but it's okay. We'll live with it. We can always make that look pretty later. Does this have full clearance? Well, it has 50% clearance. this has full clearance somehow, and this has full clearance somehow. So there's cunning ways you can overlap your stuff. Oh, there was no freaking mirror mode on. I'm so sad. I am the saddest panda you ever done see. Just allow me to do this. Take away my shame. And where is there? And hopefully that's all good. And I need to go put that helium pump back, because otherwise we are going to do a sinky sink. Yes, that needs to be fixed. This is not a particularly buoyant craft. To my shame. To my eternal shame. Alright, so that's a whole bunch of props. But now this thing needs to be able to steer. So, there's a number of ways to do that. Where's our center of drag? Hard to see. I'm just going to... if you can use one simple rudder if you want, but the cool kids these days, which I hope includes me, uses these custom props. So, we can stick one down here. This is really ugly, by the way. So what we're gonna do is we're going to... I don't even usually do this. Usually, I just do something like that. And we're just going to 3x3 rudder section, and then a 2x2 rudder section, and then you can see that... What the... Oh, that's the pivot. I want the 2x2 section, not the pivot. There we go. So now, if we go full steam ahead... by the way, this is the backslash key I'm tapping. Just under the backspace. The thing just under the backspace key. Tap that, you can see the forces that are currently acting on your craft. So now, if I hit the turn key, you'll see that this thing actually turns. And it turns not incredibly well. The thing with turning, particularly if you've got a big ship, particularly if it's a long ship, you gotta turn better than that, so that rudder is really ugly, and I do apologize. Alright, so let's change that quickly, for the sake of everyone's sanity. Let's do that. Does it still work? Yes, it does. Beautiful. And there's no way we can get it to go faster, turn faster. No, we cannot. However, there is a fun thing to do. I am going to stick turning props in the front here. So, what is a turning prop? So, a turning prop is a propeller mounted sideways. The only job of it is to help the thing turn quicker. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I really hope we can do this. And the cunning thing is here's where you can make things interesting like that. This is going to ruin the aesthetics of the ship, but it's okay. We will survive somehow. Because remember, one of the final episodes is just going to be making this damn thing pretty, so let us now do here. This is where ducts are absolutely amazing, or ducks as I like to call them. Quack, quack. So, quack, quack, and quack, quack, quack. And also, quack, 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 quack. And we're just gonna do, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do something like this, and we're also gonna do, what are we gonna do? We're gonna flash this out like so, and we're gonna have a 2-meter slope here. This is going to be quite ugly. Please forgive me. Forgive me, mother, for I have sinned. I have sinned mightily. Do not invite me to Christmas, for I have sinned. Okay. Oh, dear. Alright, so now we do that. And it would be smart to armor this up a little bit more. So now, hopefully, we'll be able to see. This probably isn't enough turning props, but we're directly over the top of it. You can see that the thing can turn without moving forward. I, in the past, have been quite dismissive of turning props. Like, I always kind of felt that they were not that great. They're amazing because maneuverability is really, really important for this kind of stuff. Alright, so the pump is leaking, so what I need to do now, I need to seal off the literal holes in the hull. So if we go here, actually there is a wonderful thing. So let's go damage debugging. No, not there. Special views. Nope. It's worth noting anyway. So where is the leaky bit? It's right there. So I think, yeah, those red dots right there, those are the bits which are leaking, as you might expect. So we need to seal that off for the sake of our ship actually not being a leaky ship, because leaky ships are bad. Just generally bad. And let's go here. Let's see. Right, that is much heavier than it used to be. Right, this thing has serious buoyancy problems, and I don't care for that one bit. Okay, nope, there we go. It's getting out of the water. So, do bear in mind, there was a time in which ducts did not actually cause leaks. That was very unintentional. They're supposed to, so now they do. This thing does not do well. Alright, so we need to actually add some pitch control. And for that, I'm actually going to stick some hydrofoils in here. So, 1, 2, and by hydrofoils, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. So here is a cunning thing. Oh, wait, no, I forgot there was a wet space in here. So there's a cunning thing you can do, like, custom rudders are amazing, by the way. So I'm just going to do this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are automatically set to control pitch. And we're going to go all the way over here to mass. Where is the center of mass? There it is. And we're in here, and I'm just going to go... How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna sneeze. And we're gonna set these. Excuse me. We're gonna set these to roll. So, looking from the back, if you set up roll control using these custom rudders or custom like air control surfaces and stuff like that, or if you're using props, the things on the right, if you're looking at your craft from behind, the things on the right, set them to control roll left, and the things on the left are set to control roll right. The reason for that is that when these things are have positive input, so like when they tilt up, they're going to make the left side of the craft rise, and so it's going to roll to the right. So, that's handy. Alright, are you floating for once? That's very nice. Alright, so we've got turny, and we've got pitch control, roll control, and forward thrust. So now, we can go to here, to main, and this is where we can set our behaviors. So this is where you can actually, like, really properly combat test your craft, is once you've got the damn thing moving. So, we're just gonna go over here. Behavior, so... both broadside behaviors are actually kind of terrible. Unfortunately, the default from the Depths AI is like really stupid in that way. We're gonna do broadside 2.0. I suggest, unless your craft is very, very fast, like as it goes over 100 meters per second, forget about minimum range, because you really don't want, particularly a broadsider, trying to turn and run away when things get close to it. That's bad. Also, it does that anyway, which is really annoying. So we have very long-range weaponry, so we're going to set this to 4,000 meters. And yeah, start closing the target. Broadside minimum angle, we're going to set that to 85. 90 means you'll set a almost 90-degree angle on either the left or the right. I prefer to set this a little lower. Let's set this to 80, because I do want this thing to move closer, so that the cram cannon can actually do something useful. Crams are not generally very good at long range. Alright, so you can also switch side when current sign's firepower is below. I'm going to set that to 0.5, because we do want to show the side that has more secondary weapons. And we're also going to set that to 1, because if it takes too much damage on one side, we want to switch to the undamaged side. This can screw you over sometimes. It can mean your craft can maneuver straight back into the firing arc of enemy guns, which isn't great, but, you know, it just... Sometimes this is good, sometimes this is bad. This is where combat testing really comes in handy, so you can see what actually works well for your ship. Alright, so what else? Troubleshooting. You check the boxes you want to check. We can be stationary, we can turn on the spot because we have turning props, we can reverse, and we don't really need to control altitude, and we certainly cannot fly. So, before you go to adjustments, go to maneuver, and this is where you set whether it's a ship or tank or whatever. And in this particular case, we do have pitch control, so I want to use pitch control, and because this thing has trouble with buoyancy, I want to set that to a slightly positive value, so it pitches up out of the water. Then you go to adjustments. We're going to set the turning circle to minimum because we can turn right on the spot. Terrain height prediction time. Always set this to max. It still runs into terrain, but that's, you know, something you have to live with. Allow upwind pathfinding. Ignore this unless you're using sails. I have made videos about sails. So keep this checked so it can, like, go against the wind. Allow reverse. We can do that because we're capable of reversing. We're going to set this a little bit higher. I'm going to set this to about 70 water depth required. The higher you set this, the more, like, the sooner your craft will try and avoid, like, driving up onto land. Honestly, if you really want to be paranoid, like, set this to maximum. But if you set this to reverse, it'll allow you to go, like, 50 meters to essentially crawl up onto land that's 50 meters above the waterline. But for now, we're going to set that to 70. And what else do we want here? Additional routines. We can ignore that for now, because you can just... I've literally never touched this. You can... And PIDs, default PIDs work quite well, and basic settings, we've already kind of done that kind of stuff. And we can do here. So our ship is now moving along quite nicely. I'm actually going to set this to be a little bit more like so, because I want this thing to keep pitching up out of the water. Alright, where are you going? I'm trying to go over there. Right, I might want to set the turning radius a little bit. Maybe I was a bit jumpy. So this thing is 284 meters long. I'm going to set the turning radius to 100, because half the ship's length is usually quite handy for that. And you can see now it's not being very sensible about what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so now this thing is moving, and that's very, very nice. And in later tests, we'll have to see whether this thing can beach itself. So, last thing, I want to see whether this thing has enough power for all its propulsion. So we're going to have it do a little combat test against, what's 1.4 million materials? Let's go and check this against... Oh, the stronghold. There's no way this will go wrong. Oh, dear. As you can see, we're turning. And we just lost a lot of blocks. And now we are turning quite nicely, and I just remembered we need to be much more clever in how we set up our torpedoes. And we have lost a lot of secondary weapons on one side, that's not great. We lost a lot of Sea Whiz. And we just lost a whole bunch of, we lost all our propulsion, basically. So this fight's not going super well. What are you doing? 95% health? 94% health. Okay, we're technically winning. We're just not winning very well. Ah, boy. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. But the thing is moving and fighting, so that's nice. It's also, yeah, I've got no excuses. The Stronghold has had a lot more work on it than this thing has, believe it or not, if you actually tally up the hours I've spent on this craft. Hasn't, not as much as what the Stronghold's done. Let's have a look at the maneuver. What are you trying to do? Alright, you're trying to turn around. Let's see here. What are the torpedoes doing? The problem with the Stronghold is that she's got actually pretty good torpedo decoy. What the hell? Something fell off. Something very much fell off here. Oh, and the particle cannon is doing a lot of work by the looks of it. Okay, well that does it for propulsion. I'm going to warp physics and get this thing actually moving again. This is not nearly as fast as I would like to do. Oh no, we don't have enough power for everything. Alright, one last thing. We're going to be cheeky, and we're actually just going to dial the power of our shields down just a little bit. Where did I hide that? Ugh. Been working on this thing too long, I don't like it. Below waterline won't function. What? Oh. Right, I'm just going to stick this up in the superstructure just while I'm here. Let's stick it right here. There we go. Alrighty, so where were we? Alright, let's go find those shield ACBs. Oh, damn it. I thought this episode would be quick. I was wrong. Let's see, shields drive. We're gonna just drop that to 3. I should point out as well that the Stronghold pound for pound is probably stronger than this thing because its weapons are generally cheaper, aside from a bunch of stuff. Alright, let's try against an Eerie and see what happens. Alright, and we're just checking on the power. Let's see. Power seems to be doing just fine. Right, this thing maneuvers not great. Thank goodness for EMP. Oh well, this thing can take on an airship that's cheaper than it. That is nice. That's so nice. Whee! She's moving and fighting. Also, I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of the... Oh no. That particle cannon cooked the plasma turret, didn't it? It bloody well did, didn't it? How dare you? That looked painful. What did that do? Is the armor any good? Not really. Wow, I hate this thing. There comes a point in every From the Depths build where you realize that you hate what you've done. And that's sad. But that's also how it goes. Okay, we were meant to be talking about propulsion. And the Eerie is going to fall into the ocean. Wow, that LAMS is useless. Man. Destroy enemy vehicles. Anyone mind if I start this series all over again? Just kidding, I'm not going to do that. Alrighty, so, why is the shield control being stupid? I just noticed that. The shield should be off. I've tried to end this video twice now and it's not working. If there's an enemy... Hello? Shield drive to 0. Shields? What are you doing? Shields? Shield. You shouldn't even be visible. Oh, great. Lovely. Bug report. Hello? 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 I don't like you very much. What the hell? Hello? Test, you bastard. Like, hello? What? Shield drive to... Alright, let's set... Maybe it's drive factor. Did I friggin... It's still not working. Great. Great. The game's bugged. The game's bugged. What? What the hell are you doing, dude? Okay, whatever. We're done. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm done. I'm leaving. Going on break. This thing moves. We've succeeded. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps. And there's fun perks in it for you. Thank you to all my current supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths, building a complete ship start to finish. This is very much a stage of building a From the Depths thing, by the way, when you're completely fed up with it and would rather stop. Push through it. You can do it. Farewell!